Well, my name is Blaine Trump, and I started at God's Love We Deliver as a volunteer in October of 1986. A friend of mine was very sick with AIDS, and he suggested I go over to see the work that they were doing in this church over on West 86th Street. And they invited me to come out on a delivery, and it was very moving. At that time, there was so much fear, and people were being abandoned by their families, by their friends, because people didn't know how you contacted the virus. And so it was a really terrifying time. And you really didn't know if you were going to knock on someone's door and they weren't going to be well enough to open the door or get out of bed. And so we became family to a lot of our clients. And if they were having a particularly bad day, we'd call 911 or we'd call their doctor and make sure that they got the medical attention they needed, because we were really the eyes and the ears of a lot of our clients at that time. And the pandemic was just terrifying. There was a lot of fear in New York. It was one of those things that you walked into someone's apartment. They just were so happy to see you. I just felt so grateful that I could do what I was doing. And we had a great friendship in the kitchen, great friendship with the volunteers. And Ganga was always a good friend. When we were thinking about a board member, she said, I know what we'll do. We'll see if they're right for us. We'll take them up to listen to the ARC choir. And if they stay in their seat, that means they're not for us. But if they stand up and get excited about what the music is and what they're hearing, then we can relate to them and they can relate to us. Of course, Ganga always felt that, don't worry, we'll make it happen. God will take care of this. And there were times where I think, Ganga, God doesn't have a checkbook today, so let's pull back a little and see how we can, do this in a sensible way. The day we bought this building, it really secured our future as an organization. We knew that there would always be people that were unwell and needed a meal. We felt that the whole AIDS pandemic, they were now drugs. It became an illness that people could manage with drugs. So when we started getting all the phone calls about my mother's unwell, she's on chemotherapy, we started to change our focus, and going through that process was monumental. We were always sort of moving around looking for a home, and once we found the home, Ganga and I just cried, because we knew that meant we would be okay. We'd have a base to always work out of. And here we are. As a board member, I'm very proud of everything we've accomplished. I was down in the kitchen and I packed out our 20 millionth meal or some crazy number, and I just started crying. I couldn't believe it. I remember when we were trying to get 50 meals out of the kitchen. I think of where we came from, this little tiny kitchen in the basement of a church, to this wonderful building that Michael Kors helped us refurbish. Sometimes it's just overwhelming. I kind of tear up and think, wow. Sometimes pinch myself and think, how did we do this? But there have been a lot of wonderful people that have helped us, and it's very exciting to be a part of this organization. And there will always be hunger out there, sadly. And so we're trying to help as many people as we can. And I think we're doing a pretty good job. It's important to me that we keep our soul, the soul of the organization, intact, that the love and the kindness that we are all about, our mission is all about, that I'll be a part of that. We'll see. God willing.